thatmovieguyUK.
While European titles are very difficult to find at times in the UK, we can always rely on Mubi. And Mubi have released Isabella Eklof's directorial debut, Holiday. While not many of you may have heard of Holiday, a lot of people have, and it has given very divisive kind of reviews where I was a bit okay. But finally, I've been able to watch it on Mubi, and I actually am very intrigued to talk to you about this film. Holiday follows the story of Sasha. She's a trophy girlfriend for a Danish drug lord. While on vacation in Bodrum, Turkey, she is welcomed into his inner circle. Under the summer sun, she lives a carefree life of luxury until she meets Thomas, a Dutch traveller trying to discover himself. Holiday is bold, brutally violent, realistic, and a very eye-opening story about domestic violence. While you don't necessarily anticipate this through the film, especially from its synopsis originally, you are entangled in this story that gives you more of a hard viewpoint of what happens behind closed doors in relationships. While the cinematography is utterly beautiful and it really does captivate the beauty of what Bodrum is, it actually does camouflage the reality of this tale, and we at times do tend to forget what is happening throughout this film. But while this lavishness is portrayed, it is very slowly paced, it unfolds in its own time, and the boldness of Elkoff's decision making is what fundamentally gives Holiday this brutal vision. Obviously, most people have heard about the rape scene in this film, and it is utterly vile, it is harrowing to watch, and it's probably the most uncomfortable that I've felt watching scenes of any similarity since Gaspar is Irreversible. It is you have this decision in your mind whether you move away and just don't watch the scene, or you just cannot believe what your eyes are watching. And I think this is the brutal midpoint of the film that kind of changes Sasha's life in some ways, but like I said, this is the foregoing message of this portrayal of domestic violence, and in a way how it should not really exist in our society right now or ever again. What I find very odd about Holiday is there's no real background narrative to the characters. You don't really know what's going on. At times I was questioning why this was happening or why this was happening, and at times I think with films like this it works. I don't necessarily think it worked as well in Holiday. It doesn't necessarily give it the oomph and the actual flow to what you're expecting. There's no real knowledge of anything, especially with Sasha. You don't really know anything about her previously. All we know is that she's in this situation, and while she's living this amazing Instagram lifestyle that a lot of people do see, and it's very capitalistic in that way, it really just does show that there are a lot of bad things that are happening to her, but not everybody sees this. Victoria Kamshon, who is the lead in this film, I think gives a very good performance. It's, like I said, utterly harrowing, but the genuine feel of her character and the way that the scenes are orchestrated, it just feels like you're in a real situation, and you can feel a lot of tension within the confines of each relationship, of this triangle that we have. And I think that she really does give this very strong performance. While I know that people are complaining about her character being a weak bimbo and everything like this, I must say that is the beginning of the film, and then at the end we end up with a very clever, a very tactical character. And this is the other interesting thing, is like this abrupt ending where I didn't exactly see this coming. You think that something more prosperous was on the horizon for her, but she made her own decision, and the question is, I think that from this midpoint, she develops and she figures out what she really wants, but at the same time, she's hiding it away from everyone. And I think that is a very good sign of great screenwriting, great character development, and a great actress. Holiday is very confrontational, and it is a very powerful debut from Isabella Eckloff, and I admire her work. She was one of the co-writers of Border, and from going from a very well-structured film and a very interesting story going to her debut with Holiday, I think that she's a very interesting screenwriter, and she isn't really afraid to tackle interesting and very dark subject matters, and I'm very intrigued to see what she brings to the table next. Like I said, there's more content coming. We have reviews for Her Smell, we have reviews for Midsommar, which I think we're going to see early. Anyway, and various other things. New subscribers, hello, thank you very much for joining the channel. I am very happy with the response that the Parasite review is having, so wunderbar, very exciting times. Like I said, Holiday on Mubi right now, and more reviews to come in the next couple of weeks. And obviously, as we say on the channel, diolch, danke, obrigado, merci beaucoup, arigato, dankeschön, all the shuns, and obviously, never change.